I do that too all the time. I'm so loud and like so like
I'm loud and I'm so
to...
like flamboyant with my hands. I talk with my hands. I'm Italian. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's the passion, you know? Like I need you to physically see it.
Right. You need to physically see my passion in my hands when I'm speaking.
Yeah, or especially when I'm angry. I'm like, my voice is not enough to let you know that shit's going down.
You need to bite my fingers. You need to mean like my kids know when I'm mad. I'm like,
this is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Cats and Pudding. And today, I have a great guest on, a girl that she's a lovely lady, I shouldn't say girl, even though I like to be called a girl, who I met, we met about a year ago.
Yeah.
At my Pride party. And she is an amazing singer, and she's just wonderful, and she's a beautiful person, and I'm so happy to have you today, Kariselle.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be here. It's so nice to see you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I am talking with my hands already.
I know, Sam, I'm going to be like that too.
I'm trying to sit on my hands because that's all I do is talk with my hands.
I'm going to talk with my hands, say get loud. Well, we'll see how we do, you know?
I try to stop saying That's something I keep saying.
That's something I'm still working on, and my facial expressions.
You know, it's the knows, and so when I'm talking with my hands, I hit the microphone because I'm talking with my hands so much. I kind of bang it. I'm surprised I haven't knocked it off the table yet since I've been recording this show, but I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. So tell us about you and tell us about what's going on in your life.
Yeah, so I am probably best known for being on a few different reality shows. The most recent being Perfect Match on Netflix, and now
and you were engaged on that show, right?
I was engaged. Yeah,
wow. Super
crazy. And what's
Do
crazy
I know
is,
who he is?
He was on The Circle.
Okay.
He won The Circle season 1.
Okay.
And so we got engaged because Perfect Match, if anyone hadn't seen it or if you haven't seen it, it was basically just all Netflix like personalities into one dating show, all dating each other, which is a recipe for disaster, and it was brilliant. Like I can't wait for a season 2 because I would love to be a viewer. And so yeah, did that, and then that aired almost a year ago now, last Valentine's Day. And since then, I've been in a rock and roll band. We sing all over the East Coast. And
You're a great singer.
Thank you so much. And we're doing so much more traveling, and I'm just kind of doing my singing thing, and just, you know, it's so great because I get to meet people who've seen reality TV like all over the country, and I get to perform. So it's been a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely like not what I expected to come out of the show. I thought it was going to come out with love, but like now I have a really fun like singing career, and I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful.
Is that what you wanted to do, was to sing? Was that your main passion was singing, or is it more acting?
Like, funny enough, I actually got started in the music industry. I was really young. I was in a girl group, and it was just a really toxic environment and situation that we were in. And I just, I just knew that like I needed to believe and trust my ability to entertain people, and that like I was so much better off doing my own thing because I don't think I was being respected or appreciated the way I should have been. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go for reality TV. Got my first show. It took me a year of constantly applying and trying and seeing what fit. And then the first show I got, I feel like it was just so right for me. I felt like I was destined to be there, as corny as that sounds.
And what show was that?
That was called Are You the One? And that one was on MTV in 2019 around.
Okay.
And I loved it so much. I had such a great experience. And it was a completely bisexual season, which was, you know, I found so rewarding as somebody who's bisexual and didn't have that representation growing up. So I just had a great experience. And funny, I was pursuing comedy after that, you know, like stand up and things like that. And I was just like, you know, reality TV is so fun because it's just like lazy comedy. You don't have to write the jokes. They just kind of write themselves, you know?
Right, yes.
So on my comedy pursuit, actually, that's when Sexy Beasts, the Netflix show I got on, that's when they found me because all my jokes were about how bad I am at dating. And, you know, so they put me into Sexy Beasts and I did my thing, and then they asked me to do Perfect Match. And that's just kind of how it all came together.
Are you up for any other shows now, or just are you just pursuing the singing?
Yeah, not right now. I'm not opposed to really anything. I probably want to do another dating show though, because I mean, 3 dating shows, like 3's cute, 4 is like, okay, girl, like okay. Move on.
Like you haven't found love yet through a dating show. Like let's try to find another way.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, let's try to find somebody in the wild, you know, and then take it from there.
Are you dating anybody now?
I'm just kind of dating around. There's one guy actually in particular I've been hanging around, and he's really nice, but like I'm still on my gay shit too.
Okay.
So like, I almost got married, so I'm just kind of holding myself to my freedom and kind of still doing my thing and, enjoying the rest of my 20s.
How old are you?
28.
Oh, you're still in your 20s. You still got a couple more years left to.
Exactly, yeah.
Because then we were just talking about this on my last show, is that women, unfortunately, we have to get our whole lives mapped out before a certain age. Like we're expected to have a
100%.
career, get an education, have a career, get married, have children, blah, 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 blah. And in a short period of time when men don't have to
They don't
do that.
no.
They're not relegated to that type of timeline that we are.
Correct,
So
yeah.
you're in a position right now where you're getting to your 30s. Are you starting to think about that you want to get married and settle down and have children?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to, on all my shows, that's all I talked about. So I want to get married. I want to have babies. Like, that's always been my dream. I've always wanted to be a mom. And, after my last show, I did get engaged, and, I thought that life was maybe coming for me. And, I think that when it failed, I had to find peace in being by myself because, that's the only way you're going to get out of such a dark time. And, especially dealing with so many people invested in your relationship. So I actually did a lot of traveling. I never liked traveling. I'm terrified of airplanes. And so, my friends were like, you want to go to
It's
Europe?
a scary place now.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of crazy
yeah.
stuff going on airplanes lately.
So much crazy stuff. And yeah, my friends were all going to Europe, and it was right after, me and this person, we were just like going through really like that time. I knew it was over, and I was just like, screw it, I'm going to Europe with my friends. And I loved it. And, I was someone who was always like, I want to get married, I want to have kids. And I don't think I honed in enough on, okay, but make sure it's with the right person.
Right.
And so now that I'm okay with being by myself and kind of prioritizing myself and my needs first, I'm like, okay, then the right person will come. Like when God's like, you're where you need to be, I'm going to send you who's meant for you. And so I'm just kind of trying to ride that wave. But when it's ready for me, I'm going to be so happy because that's all I want.
How long were you engaged for?
Not that long. It's kind of hard to say the exact timeline because like after like 2 months, there was like rockiness, and then we would be working things out, and then it was like, okay, like this isn't going to work. And then it was like back to our on and off kind of like pattern. You know what I mean? And then we try to be friends, and that gets like dicey because like
Yes.
how can you be friends with someone you were in love with? And then we just
It
were
can't.
like better off being on like civil terms and just like not being in each other's lives,
You're on civil terms now?
We're on civil terms,
Okay.
yeah.
No getting back together.
No.
That ship has sailed.
Not anymore. No, it was before the show we actually knew each other. We knew each other for like 2 years before Perfect Match, and we'd been on and off for those, and then for like a year and a half we were on and off, and then we went like 6 months like no contact, like bad terms, and then we both ended up on Perfect Match.
Wow.
So that's why I was like, oh, this must be fate, And I do think it was fate in a sense. Like I think I had a lot of lessons to learn, and I think I grew so much from like lessons I learned from him, and like we're not meant to be. But I think we both took something from all that. So
Are you originally from New York?
I'm from New Jersey, actually. Originally.
Okay.
Now I'm a Delaware girl.
Okay. That's where you live in now?
Yeah, now I'm in Delaware. I like Delaware a lot. It's so funny because there's a lot of TikTok trends of people saying, does Delaware even exist? They're like, I don't know one person in Delaware. So if you're watching this, you guys know of someone who lives in Delaware now. So it is a real place. It's very quiet though, but quiet's good sometimes.
Are you doing a lot, and you're doing a lot of traveling with your singing right now too, right?
Yeah, lots and lots of traveling. We have a lot of shows here in Jersey, New York. We're even going down to Ocean City, Maryland a few times. We just came back from Vermont. So it's a lot of fun because my band is like my best friends. So it's just like being able to go on little trips with your buddies,
That's fun. See, right. So right now is a time for you to enjoy your life
Definitely.
at this point.
Definitely. Oh,
And
yeah.
anything else on the horizon as far as besides singing? I mean, any acting or any like real type of shows maybe?
I always say that I'm so good at reality TV because I'm such a terrible actor. Like I cannot tell a lie. My face will say whatever I don't want to. And so, as much as I would be open-minded to acting, like I think I'm just so good at being a hot mess, and I think it works for me that I'm just.
So if
kinda
there's a
over
show
that.
for a hot mess for Kariselle, let's get her on the show.
Yeah,
Let's get-
exactly. Yeah. If they're like, let's put a group of people who just like cannot get it together, I am a perfect candidate.
When is your next? Do you have an album out, or are you having anything new music coming down the pike at this point? Or
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna release sometime this year, probably later this year, probably closer to the summer. It's like a little EP, and it's like my little heartbreak kind of songs that like I got out of my way.
Like a Taylor Swift song?
Oh yeah, I love Taylor Swift. So, but
I think she just dates people to break up with them so she could have a hit song. I swear to God.
I mean, like if I could make as many beautiful pieces of art from a heartbreak like she could, oh my God, like she's someone who really turns lemons into lemonade. I will say, because her heartbreak songs are like the best I've ever heard. But
It's true.
yeah, so so I'll be releasing like my like heartbreak kind of songs in the summer.
And talking about all this.
Yeah.
How is your parents, like, were they upset that were they happy? Well, first of all, that you were on a shelf looking for love and that you got engaged. Were they happy with the engagement? And then were they upset when you guys broke up?
So my mom was really happy about the engagement. My dad was indifferent, and then my dad was actually really happy when we broke up. He just but my dad, the way he phrased it was so perfect. He was like, I can't be the one to tell you like you shouldn't do this or that it's not going to work out. You need to realize that and you need to grow from it yourself. But he did say that the whole time. He was just kind of like, I feel like it's going to go south and I feel like you just deserve so much better. Like, obviously, like my dad, like I love my dad so much. And, I think that he's such a great stand-up man that any man that falls like short of that, like he's going to be the first one to notice.
Right.
So yeah, my dad was really happy it didn't work out. My mom was a little crushed at first, but I think that
she liked him.
She did like him, yeah. But then, eventually as like things went on and just like, drama unfolded, my mom did change her opinion. And then she was ultimately like really happy that it worked out the way that it did.
Right. Well, thank God you didn't get married and then had to go through a divorce and that type of breakup, because that would have been much worse.
Definitely. Yeah, no, 100%, and like I'm glad that we did end things before it got too bad, in the sense that like there was no like public like fighting or like chaos, I'm glad we ended things before it was like terrible. We just kind of nipped it in the butt, like civil terms. We hashed out our shit privately and could just move on. Because like I think what I was really afraid of is after filming something with somebody, like people not being able to let it go or that I wouldn't be able to move on. And luckily I have been able to, and like a lot of people just really like stayed with me and following my journey, and people following his journey. We're able to separate, which is good, because that's something I was very afraid of.
Did you guys plan the wedding already? Like, were you already in the midst of planning? I mean, were there deposits put down on like halls or anything like that? Because
no. So like
that's my worst fear as a parent of what's going to happen if one of my girls want to get married, and then I'm like, oh, well, let's put this money down on a venue.
So
and then
scary.
5 months later, oh, we're not getting married, and you lose like a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 deposit on something. So that's like the parents' worst nightmare.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could imagine. But yeah, I mean, well, funny enough, the first day he met me, he told me he was going to marry me. And like every time we were like talking and stuff, we always said we were going to get married. And we always talked about, we both always wanted to elope. Just like a fun day out in Vegas, get married, and then like travel. You know what I mean? So that was always the plan anyway.
You weren't going to have a big venue then?
No. And that's something I've always wanted to elope, and so did he. And we always talked about that. We said, let's elope on Halloween. Like, that was both of our favorite holidays.
Oh, that's fun.
I know, something like that would have been fun. And
like,
just
you could have got married in Vegas and had Elvis marry you.
That's exactly what he used to say. He would always say that.
That would have been great.
Yeah, 100%.
That's so Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. And I still want to do that. Like, not maybe necessarily Vegas, but like I personally would just love to elope, do something that's very special between me and the person I end up marrying. And then
like a Tom and Pam on the beach.
Yeah. And then like use that money to like travel the world before we settle down and have kids. Like get all of our bucket list items out of the way. Let's go settle down. So that's something I would like personally. Like I do pageants and stuff. I've had like the dress moments. I've had the shining, like it's all about me days.
Wait, you were in pageants too?
Yeah, I do pageants. Yeah.
You still do pageants now?
Yeah, I still do pageants.
Really?
Yeah.
So what kind of pageants do you do? See, you're so interesting. You're just very eclectic. You do all these different things.
So I do a lot of different like state pageants. I have done the pageant in Delaware. I've done pageants in Jersey because I used to live in Jersey. And basically they're state pageants, and if you win, you go to nationals. You get to compete against every other state, which is so fun. And yeah, last year I competed in Delaware, and I got first runner-up, and it was so much fun. Yeah, and it's just like have
you been in like Miss USA?
I went to Miss United States, which is a different system, but they're very similar. But hopefully one day I can make it to Miss USA too, because I think that would just be such a fun experience. And I really got into pageantry because I just think there's such a need for more LGBTQ plus inclusivity and representation. And, I think by being that representation, or like just like really vocalizing all that kind of stuff, I think it would really help, because I always wanted to do pageants, and I was too nervous to do them until I was like maybe 25, because I didn't really see anyone like me. And I just think it's so important for everybody to kind of see somebody who reminds them of themselves. So it's just been this mission of mine, and I just can't let it go.
and you're young and beautiful still. So you should do it until forever.
I probably will.
How
and I really enjoy it.
If one of your daughters wants to be in a pageant, would you have a problem with that, or
I would say for her to
support
wait till she's a teenager. I think with anything, there are toxic things, and there's really empowering and rewarding things. And I would make sure she was educated, and I was educated on all the different systems, because every system is different. There's a huge variety of like different kinds of pageants. And, I'd really encourage her to find her why, because there's so many opportunities to really create a platform to give back to your community when it comes to pageantry. And I think that's something a lot of teenagers could really benefit from. It's also pageants that will give you scholarships to college. Mm-hmm. And so, I think things like that are so rewarding, and I would really encourage her to do it. But I would also want to make sure her self-esteem is like top tier, because
there is a lot of rejection.
There's a lot of rejection. It's
not easy.
No, not at all. But I also think that if you want to learn how to win, you have to know how to lose and how to accept your losses and just come back and just try again.
So you're not one of those parents who would be like a trophy for everybody. You think there's right?
No.
I'm not for that.
That's why I like pageants.
There's the thrill of winning, and there's the agony of defeat. And and kids should know that.
For sure. And I think that's something so great about pageantry. It's sure there's other rewards, but there is one winner. And, after everybody else, they just kind of go back to a regular life and maybe try again next year. And I think, again, like knowing how to lose, I think will just make you such a stronger competitor the next year, or stronger in something else you want to do that's competitive. And I think it's a really healthy way of learning that and sharpening those skills.
I think that's a great way to be. I think that this whole thing with, like I said, with everybody gets an award is not the way. It should. Yeah. The kids have to understand about that. They have to understand about, like I said, there's a winner, there's a loser, and that's even with sports or with anything with pageantry. It's very important and understand that there is competitiveness, and
for sure
you're not going to you shouldn't be getting a medal for mediocrity.
Yeah, and like learning how to clap for other people when they win.
Yes,
I think that is so important.
Very important. Yeah, and not everybody's the same, and it's okay.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
everybody's going to be the Victoria's Secret model. Not everybody's going to be, on the Yankees. Not everybody's going to, do well at swimming, do well. You have to, understand that you have to stay in your own lane, and there are different levels of winning in different aspects of your life, and you might be good at something where somebody else might not be good at something.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, maybe you didn't get the results you wanted here, but maybe you thrive here. And, I think what's so cool about life is that, like, I think we all find something that we really get called to, and then we do have those wins, even if they're small wins, we all find something. Exactly. We all find something where we get that moment. And I think that's so important.
You're going to be such a good mom.
Oh, thank you. I want kids so bad. That's like my number one dream. Like, people are like, oh, like, do you want to be a singer? I'm like, no, I want to be a mom.
It is the hardest job in the world. That is for sure.
I know. My mom reminds me all the time. My mom had twins. I'm a twin, and my mom had a toddler on top of that.
Oh, it's so funny. You are the third twin that's on my show today. Next time you gotta come on, you gotta bring your sister.
Oh my God!
Are you a brother or sister? Yeah.
Oh, I'm a sister. Yeah, and she's so shy, hates the spotlight, doesn't even like when I tag her and things on Instagram. Funny. It was so funny. She's so hidden because she's so private that there was a rumor going around that I lied about having a twin sister. I was like, no, why would I lie about that?
So she's not she doesn't sing, she doesn't do pageants or anything like that?
She's the scholar. Like, she's very good at school. She got her degree and had all these academic kind of award things, you know,
So
things I don't know
those
about.
are her accolades.
Exactly.
Academics is her accolades. Where pageants and singing is yours. So
so
kind of balances out.
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's why we get along so well is because like we're so different. We have so much to learn from each other, and because we grew up together, like we just get along so well. So, you know, it's
Does she
never
have
boring.
blonde hair like you too?
No, she has
gotta show me
long,
a
dark
picture.
hair. I will, yeah. Long, dark hair, dark eyes, fair skin. She's naturally so beautiful too. Like, and like, not to like bring myself down or nothing, but like I wear a lot of makeup because like I just love it. Like I love the glitz, I love the glam, and she's so natural and like she just doesn't need anything, and she's so naturally like just wonderful and beautiful, and we just look nothing alike. You wouldn't even think we're related.
When you're like away from her, do you like is this whole true with twins? Do you like feel if there's something wrong? Like, what do you feel
When
that?
we were younger, like that was a thing. Like
I always like to know that. I went to ask my other guest before about that. Do you have the feelings like if something's wrong or
only
if
when
she's
we were
sad?
younger. Oh, but I can always tell when she's sad. But I think that's just because I know her better than anybody. Like I feel like I can read her so well because we've spent so much time together.
Well, you were sharing a little space together too
Yeah.
for 9 months too.
Oh yeah,
know?
partners
Who
in crime.
came out? Who's the oldest one?
I came out first.
Came out first by how many minutes?
2 minutes. And I'm so much shorter than her too. I'm 5'2" and she's 8 or 9 or something. So it's a very obvious height difference.
Aw, that's so. Do you have any other brothers or sisters? Or just-
Yeah, I have an older sister too. She's really, really talented. She does like the Broadway kind of singing.
Wow.
Yeah, she gets
That's
vocal
amazing.
lessons. She's been on Broadway tours like as the lead. Like she's somebody who's really talk about competitive and rejection. Like she's gone through all the auditions, like worked her butt off, and she's had some great success too. She's in an industry where everybody's talented, everybody's good. So at that
when
point,
when you're in a theater, everybody's talented.
and you can
There's
be
nobody that's not talented.
exactly. And at that point, it comes down to like somebody's opinion. So
Yeah.
you know, you really need a strong backbone, and you know, I have to give her credit because that's not easy.
Yeah. Aw, and no brothers.
No brothers.
No brothers.
No.
Oh, so now you have to have sons too.
Yeah, I probably will. I always say that because I always want like I would always like obviously I just want any gender as long as it's healthy and happy. But you know, I would always like to have a girl and just like kind of have that bond like me and my mom have. My mom's like my best friend. But if I have all boys, as long as they're happy and healthy, I will take that as well.
And your mother's probably going to be saying, "Well, you better find somebody to settle down with so you can give me some grandchildren."
Oh, all the time. Forget my mom. My dad is always like, I asked my dad what he wanted for Christmas this year. He goes, grandkids. I'm like, with who?
That's a tall order. That's a
I
tall
know.
order, Grandpa.
My poor dad, I think it was like 3 years ago or something. I was dating a woman. He goes, how crazy is it? My closest thing to grandkids is my daughter who's dating the woman. Because my other two sisters were not in relationships.
But even if you do marry a woman, you could still have a baby. That's
Oh,
fine.
100%. But they're planned.
They're planned.
You know, when
Yes,
you're
they're
dating
gonna
a
be
woman, you
planned.
marry a woman, it's planned, you know?
Yes.
You know, so yeah, but like, if you marry a man, sometimes things happen and they're just like, oh, let's, do it. Like, see where it goes.
Right. Well,
And it's a lot more work.
naturally.
Yeah, and it's more work with a woman. You gotta see this, see that, like do this, get a sperm donor. So it's like a little more work, a little more elbow grease, but
Where do you still see it? It just doesn't matter who. It's going to be who you fall in love with.
yeah, I always
basically, at
say
this
I'm
point.
not attracted to like physical bodies. I'm attracted to people. Like I'm attracted to like who they are like as a person. I think I'm just attracted, I would say I'm like attracted to masculine energy, whether that's in a woman's body, a man's body, somebody who identifies in between. Like if I just vibe with you and you're just like a masculine energy, I feel like that's what I just kind of find myself.
You navigate to it. You gravitate to it.
Yeah, and even when I'm dating a man though, like a straight cis man, I think it's also important to just really embrace my queerness as well. And I'm not saying like having to also be with women or anything, but just like, going to Pride and, talking about how important representation is and still being an advocate for my community because, it's still such a big part of my life. It's a big part of my story. So any man I end up with has to be supportive of that.
And anybody who's with you is going to be supportive of that.
I think
sure.
so too, because
I think so too.
That's too big of a deal breaker for me personally to overlook somebody who's not supportive. But luckily, I've never dated any man who's been not supportive of that. So that's good. I've heard horror stories on like Reddit threads and stuff of people dating men who are just not, and I could never do that.
I'm sure anybody that you attract would be a person that's going to be for your lifestyle and for your and for your beliefs and for how you feel.
That's what I think too. Definitely,
you're gonna navigate to those certain types of
definitely
people.
And I think I attract that. I attract people who like are just like more open-minded, and maybe they've never like had a gay moment or anything, but they can appreciate and they can be a supporter and an ally to our community.
Well, I think you're going to find yourself somebody beautiful and somebody nice that you're going to wind up marrying and have
Manifesting
let's manifest that energy and have some children. I can see that in your future. And you are so lovely. You really are. I'm so glad you came on my show today and we talked. And I'd love to have you back again and want to see what the world has been bringing you over the next few months. Hopefully you'll come back again. And
yes, and I'm gonna come for some injections. Your face looks too good. I'm like Botox fillers, so my glutide, like, let's do it.
Well, when you're ready, you come on and come and see me at Dolce, baby. Anytime. Anytime. It was so good to have you on today. I'm so happy to see you, and you are lovely.
Oh, thank you so much.
Everybody, please watch us on Apple, on YouTube. Watch the whole video, not just the shorts, and on Spotify. Everybody have a great day. This was Cats and Pudding. And again, thank you for being on my show.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.